Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat and deadlift day. Decided ultimately, I need to just work on getting my mobility in my hips where it used to be so I can do these really wide stance squats. I put up a picture yesterday just kind of displaying where I used to be doing the pause squats with the SSB. I'm going to work on getting there again now, starting today. Those pause squats really did a lot for me for that hip mobility. So getting my shoulders in a position where I can kind of get back to that low bar, I'm having to do a pretty wide stance. I realize I probably need to do just a little more delt work, probably something like rear delt flies. I want to just build that shelf a little better to get that bar a little more secure where I want it. It'll also probably help with that shoulder mobility in that position a little bit to get stronger there. But at least I can get the bar in a position there, pain-free. Yes, I'm aware I would like to be able to get a full grip on that bar, but I'm not there yet. Now for these, I got depth today, right? Barely. Okay, and the thing is, I feel like I'm real close to getting these where I need them. When I look at the stance width, either I have to get a little stronger in that bottom position, which the pause work will help, or I need to bring that stance in just a little bit more. I feel like that toe angle, again, looking at my old footage, that toe angle is perfect. Right, that toe angle is perfect. I might be a hair too wide. I'd like to be able to reach depth, though, in that real wide position, but just watching what the knee does might be just a little bit of an issue. So I might need to bring that stance in just a small amount. All right, ran into a problem. The problem I'm running into with deadlifts is I'm getting so slippery from the sweat, and I'm sweating more than it looks like in this camera. I'm just leaving puddles on the floor as I walk. I can't get my hands dry enough. I am completely drying my arms right after I apply chalk. It's almost washing my chalk off. And by the time I get to the bar, there's sweat running down my arms into my palms. It is making it super hard to grip this. So if you guys notice I'm having to re-grip there, it's because my hands are wet already. And that fourth rep, it was literally, when your hands get wet, you guys know what I'm talking about, where it starts to almost tear the skin. It just starts peeling layers of skin off, and you can feel it. So again, it's the issue. I may have to chalk heavier. Just I'm having to deal with the sweat. And people may notice I'm running 3 high-speed fans in here. They're all blowing on me. All right, the pause squats. All right, depth is pretty good on these, but I want you guys to notice I was doing these before without that knee caving quite as much. I was able to keep the knees out previously. So how do we fix that? Well, I've got to do these deep pause squats. I have to get strong in that bottom position. That's how mobility works. That's a strength deficit that has to be fixed, right? I've got to get stronger. Got to get stronger in that position. These will do it. And I can't handle a lot of these. And so here's what I'm doing with a lot of this work. I'm going to keep the real high rep work just to the pump stuff at the end. What do I really need to pump? Reverse hypers, belt squats. All this other stuff, let's just do it as strengthening accessories, build the joint angles, the things I want to do. Now, the beauty of using the SSB for these deep pause squats, it's more difficult. I can force myself into those positions and really strengthen it while using a slightly lighter weight than if we go for another bar. Plus, the extra upper back work. I need to keep that upper back strong. Right, that's going to be a big deal if I end up messing fully with a full power squat again. And let's be honest, even though I wanted to do high bar, I'm like, look, my strength potential is going to be so much higher, and it's easier on my knees to do this. Now this set looked cleaner, way better than that first set. Way better. Okay. Means that my nervous system wasn't ready on that first one. We're now training it. Okay, we've got to train from that position. And if I want to get strong there, those pause squats are really going to be the key. They're going to be the key. All right? So that I can explode out of that position. And I've got to get strong from that start position, so when I use a stretch reflex later on a power squat, the strength will be there. But doing those with the SSB in a pause puts no torque on my shoulders, forces me into a really difficult tight position. Because think about what I'm having to do just to get the bar to clear at the bottom. I'm having to just ratchet everything up tight. I'm having to lock that upper back in tight, right? And I'm forced to use a lighter weight to get the same response, but I felt my adductors like crazy on those, right? The adductor work was there. All right, my squat's about to come back up. I think guys will be surprised how quick I bring that back up. I think also people have to remember when I used to squat a couple of years ago, right? I wasn't a 500 squatter. I'm a 500 squatter when I've just let my squat go. Or after doing big water cuts, before we'll get the squat back. It's going to come back up. And this is also how I do it. So the quad work people will say, well, your quad's going to get big enough doing that other stuff. No, of course not. This will get my quads big. Because what are we doing here? Pushing those knees way forward, putting everything into a deep stretch, nice controlled reps, getting a pump, right? Getting a pump in my quads. Getting a pump in my quads. Yep. And I'm a little boofier this week, and that's okay. I've had more salt and stuff this week. I feel like I've needed it with the heat. I've been adding more salt to my food, and I'll deal with it. It'll all balance out later. I'll end up looking a lot leaner in a few weeks, and people will be like, what happened? Just shifts in water. This is what it is. I'm not that worried. Just let it show. Who cares? So 3 sets of 20 on these. So here's the strategy then. We do the heavy work. We do it correctly. A little bit of other heavy work for assistance, primary movers. So again, I went up a little heavier. You can only get 7s on those glute ham raises, but those build my deadlift. The rowing builds my deadlift. We're pushing rowing hard. Okay, those glute ham raises really bring up my deadlift strength. Although right now that grip is really the thing with all this temperature, and people will say, well, why don't you strap up? Because it's a different exercise when you strap. It is not the same bar path. Number 2, I'm forcing my grip to work harder. Like, let's make it work harder. It's fine. It's going to be so much easier when the sweating is gone and everything's good. It's going to be so much cleaner. It's going to be so much easier. And by then, because I am doing enough grip stuff on the upper days, by then we're going to be in a good place. What happens when I walk in and hit 6 or 7 reps with that same weight I'm doing now? Okay, what's my deadlift going to be then? So, but just making it all work, and then everything else at the end, we're doing this high rep pump work. We're building the low back, glutes, hamstrings here. Hamstrings, I'm not that worried. My hamstrings are in a good place. I can just go heavy on them. But again, we're chasing a pump. We're chasing a deep range of motion, right? This will blow my quads and adductors up. Quads, adductors, glutes. And my reverse hypers, of course, they work my erectors, glutes, all that stuff. All right, but right here, the belt squat. These, I am just chasing a deep stretch and a pump, and just leaving my quads blown up after we do the heavy work. So I want people to be clear there when I do this. This is not the primary stimulus. This is after we've hit all that heavy tension. We've done heavy squatting, deadlifting, the pause squats. Now we come in and we chase that deep pump work and fatigue afterwards. The end result will be my quads will blow back up. It is one of the body parts that does really respond to high reps for me. A lot of my upper body doesn't the same. My quads do. You guys have seen me when I've had big quads before. They're not big right now. They'll come back up quick. And then, of course, the reverse hypers for the restoration, the extra glute and erector work. But pretty happy with today's workout. I feel like this went really well, all things considered. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.